Welcome to part 2 in an exploration of brutalism. I recommend watching part 1 that gives kind of a history on this polarizing style, but in this video I wanted to talk about some of the defining physical characteristics of brutalism and look at some brutalist buildings around Louisville. Let's start with the Jefferson County Hall of Justice located at 600 West Jefferson Street. Now we know this was built between 1973 and 1975. A feature of brutalism that is present in this building is the use of large windows. Now, early brutalists did not leave behind the tenets of balance that are so alive in modernism. And the use of the large windows here is a good look because it lets light into this drab building, and it kind of softens up the roughness of the concrete, so I think it's a pretty good look. High ceilings are also used here. Brutalism makes a dramatic use of vertical space, and again, these high ceilings mixed with the large windows helps let in light to this concrete building. These interior pictures here are from the Courier-Journal. I found one source that credits Erasmus, Judd, Rapp, and Chauvin as the local firm that designed this building. Now, Erasmus and Judd were also part of the next set of buildings that we're going to talk about, which are the U of L Health Sciences buildings. You can find this compound on South Preston in Muhammad Ali, and this is a brutalist wonderland. Very commanding, very serious, well suited for these medical buildings. These were built in 1970 by a few different firms, some local, some non-local. The local ones were Erasmus and Judd, and also Lewis and Henry, who will come up later. So these buildings house the medical school, the dental school, some other classrooms and common areas. I think these buildings demonstrate the brutalist principle of using bold geometric forms, which kind of soften things up and give a little bit of play to the otherwise rigid concrete. About a block down Preston, where it hits Broadway, is the Norton Healthcare Pavilion, and that demonstrates the brutalist principle of modular grids. This is such a great example of that design hallmark. Next up, we have the Waterfront Development Building, or the Karam Building. This was designed by the firm Harstern, Lewis and Henry, again, same guys as before, and this was built in 1965. This building was originally built as the headquarters for the Louisville Sand Company, which mined sand and gravel from the river, but now it is the headquarters for the Louisville Waterfront Development Corporation. David Karam was the president, and he was instrumental in beautifying the waterfront and making it what it is today. I love this building, and I know a lot of people do. We have this very extreme cantilever, okay, this overhang here, which makes this building an excellent example of what I think is the defining principle of brutalist design, which is functionality, purpose-driven design. This cantilever is very cool and stylish, but it is also here as a safeguard because this building is right on the river. So you have this really awesome blending of functionality and art in this building. Let's move on to the main library branch. We have amazing libraries here in Louisville, and our main branch is on York Street. So the front of the library is older, is more classical design, but the back side of the library is certainly brutalist by design. And this was built in 1969 by Lewis and Henry. These guys were busy. Next up, a little hidden gem that I came across that I think has some brutalist elements. It's the Interfaith Mission Center, and it is on the U of L Belknap campus, kind of tucked away down there, almost like a little bunker. I thought it was pretty cool. This was designed by Lawrence P. Melio and Associates in 1974. Now we have this building. I adore this building. Never been inside, but it is just so cool. It's so unique. I mean, look at these windows. I go crazy for these windows. This used to be the City Blueprint building. How cool is that? I think that's very, very cool. This was designed in 1968 by architect Jasper Ward, who had a hand in many different buildings around Louisville. I found out that he designed my favorite parking garage, which is a normal thing to have a favorite of. He liked to play with geometry in his designs, which again is a hallmark of brutalism and can clearly be seen in this building. Those are only a handful of the brutalist buildings in the city. And I have to admit, as I have studied brutalism and looked at all these buildings the past few months, I've really become taken with the style. And also, as I've said before, not all of it is great or inspiring, but some people have done some really neat things with it. And as you begin to peel back the layers of brutalism and its philosophy, you find at its heart the principles of modernism. And these principles are the backbone of so many other influential styles like Bauhaus, international style, Dish style. I think you have to look a bit harder for the beauty in brutalism. I think that its artistry is very understated, but I also think that that is the point. Those early brutalist architects saw beauty in rawness. Look past the coldness and you will find the art in the simplicity of the form. And that, I believe, is the case for concrete.